forget. It's 17-6. We're going to the fourth quarter. I'm Kevin or KT or whatever. Doesn't matter. That's Jared over there.
What's up,
I'm
guys?
in New Mexico this time. You check out the mountains.
Whoa!
See that snow?
Someone's going to go shred the gnar.
I don't know what that means, but I think my brother had a rough day out there on the slopes today. I fell down yesterday in the driveway.
When you get married, I hear that happens. You lose the ability to navigate the mountains.
I don't know what that means, Jared, and I asked you before we started not to say anything shocking.
No.
A lot of kids in the room. 17-6. So I just saw this guy from ESPN. You might remember him, Mike Greenberg. Do you remember him? He used to do a show called Mike and Mike.
I remember him.
So he had this tweet. I'm going to read this to you real quick, all right? Because I thought it was dumb. So hold on one second. I'm finding the tweet. He says, Dak misses a wide-open receiver, and then Wentz takes his team right down the field. And the most important game either of them plays, that sequence feels like it speaks volumes. I don't really think – I think it was just like one bad throw and then a touchdown drive. I think it was more about that than anything else. But the quarter's starting, and it's brought to you by MyBookie.ag. Go to MyBookie.ag. Use the promo code FanCred. They'll double your deposit, and you can get more money. Hopefully you're not losing money at MyBookie like I did last night playing a little family game of Bamboozled.
Ooh.
Or another that's the name we're going with right now for this dice game that we play.
Bamboozled?
That's what we're going with for now. But I don't know. Kyle made the wooden box, so I'll let him name it. It's my brother, Kyle.
Oh, it's the is it the game where you got to like hit all the numbers?
Yeah, I showed you this game.
Yeah, and I told you that I think it's like big in the Dominican or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to. Yeah, baseball players are playing it.
Well, kind of. Yeah. I
would imagine.
Yeah. There's the story I shared with you that's not for this, but yeah.
No one's watching, Jared. Unless they are. I noticed, too, I'm also incorporating a new 3D rocking feature this week. You say I'm in a rocking chair.
And I'm going with the near silhouette lighting, so.
Yeah. 17-6. Who's hurt? Did someone –
Xavier Suafilo.
Well, there's more important guys who have been hurt, but we hope he's okay. Yeah, I don't think the Cowboys are going to win today, Jared.
I'll tell you what, I thought they were at halftime when the Eagles seemingly were in total control of the game and were only up by 4. But the Cowboys' inability to get points at any point so far this half has made things difficult. Now, we see this a lot where a team can't generate any offense for 3 quarters, and then all of a sudden in the fourth quarter something magically changes and they move the ball down the field. But I don't know. I will say this. I don't think Dak's shoulder is really any excuse. No. I think he's zipping the ball. I think you made a good point on Twitter. The drops were kind of hurting him in the first half. And, yes, did he miss that throw to Cooper? Sure he did. And was that a big throw? Yes, you bet it was. But he was making some good throws, and catches were not being made in the first half. It's going to be an interesting game to assess depending on how the final 14 shapes up from Dak's standpoint. But I don't know that he's necessarily the biggest culprit in all of this.
So there's Zeke for 9, setting up 3rd and 1. And really, like, if they're going to have to do this by handing Zeke the ball, although Zeke's asked out of the game at important times all game long, we'll see what happens on this 3rd and 1 before I continue my point, because I want to make sure the drive continues. Because there's about 14:20 left in the game. And I'm not doing play-by-play because that's illegal. It's incomplete, though. So 4th and 1.
I'll tell you what, I love Dak's ability to get out of the pocket. I wonder in that situation, you commit to leaving the pocket so early you cut off half the field. And sometimes I think those plays become easier to defend in short yardage situations. I don't know. I'm curious about the play call. Would you go for it here? They're
Absolutely
not going to
go for it.
Yeah,
this is the season.
I think I'd go.
They're not. They're not. They're going to go full Jason and punt. Yeah, I just think it's. Look, at some point, Jason Garrett should get credit for being as much of a coward as he is. Like, this is the most courageous display of cowardice I've ever seen. He's doing it again with his job on the line, he's just going to give up and punt. Now you got a false start penalty. It doesn't matter. Now you have to punt, which for about the fourth time this year, have a conspiracy theory that he's told an offensive lineman to jump off sides so his decision doesn't look as bad on him when he doesn't go for it on 4th and 1.
But to me, that's a fool's errand thing, though, because if they're going for it, if they're lining up to go for it on 4th down, I mean, who knows if they still jump? Like, it's not like a big play where it gets called back because of a holding. I mean, I agree with you. Like, I don't understand the whole idea. You're down 2 scores. You're running the ball pretty well. You've got a mobile quarterback who's good in play action with a really good running back. To me, you go for that 10 times out of 10. But I mean, I guess that's why we're here.
I'm running it on 3rd and 1 if my plan is to punt it if I don't get it. Sure. I want to remind everyone, and by everyone I mean the people viewing on the internet right now or the FanCred app. If you hit the button in the bottom right of the screen, it's a green button. It's going to say fan line. If you hit that, you can join us. So you can talk to us. Like, you can pop on the video with Jared and I, and also go to MyBookie.ag. The promo code's FanCred again, where they'll double your deposit, and you can make a lot of money by doing that. If you wanted to do that, it's just a special offer we're giving you. I was hoping the Cowboys would win, and then we'd have a playoff game, and we could do this for a couple more weeks. But now it's kind of, I mean, it's not like they're out of the playoffs if they lose today, but maybe the Eagles would go lose to the Giants. But how do you know the Cowboys would beat the Redskins next week? Feels like there's a lot of give up happening, just in general, from me on this broadcast and from the Cowboys team. Feels like there's a lot of give up.
Well, you're in New Mexico, so I just curious, since we're in a break, what percentage chance would you put on the Eagles losing to the Giants if they win this game? So if the Eagles know that they need to win to clinch, what percentage chance?
The Eagles aren't very good.
What?
Well, the Eagles aren't very good.
Right. No, that's why it's. I mean,
50, 55.
55. Okay.
55. Check out this. I am in New Mexico. I'll show you this. Check out that. Oh, there it is. Santa Fe Brewing.
Yeah.
Right there. The Adobe Igloo. You ever been in an igloo, Jared?
I have not. Have you?
I have not. But I might go see if I can find one tomorrow.
I once asked Camille Johnson out in 5th grade under the reading tree, or the reading igloo, I should say, but not an actual igloo.
I don't know what that is.
Like this fake igloo, like wooden igloo where you go and read in 5th grade.
So it's Eagles 17, Cowboys 6. I have 14 minutes left in the game, and the Eagles have the ball. So, yeah, not looking good. Also, Cowboys plus 9.5 right now on MyBookie.ag. So you need to go throw some money down on the Eagles right now. Use the promo code FanCred. They'll double your deposit. We got some comments, too. If you drop your comments in the comment box, I'll read them. I don't know about you, Jared. I got a ton of family members sitting around. If they got any comments on the game, we'll throw those out there as well.
Are these family members all Cowboys fans, or we got a mix? We got Packers fans, we got Bears fans. What do we have?
Okay, yeah, let's show of hands here. Cowboys fans? How many Cowboys fans in the room? 1, 2, 3. Karis is still not sure. We're gonna see if we can turn her into a Packers fan. I am a Packers fan, and I'm okay saying that. I just cover the Cowboys,
and I'm okay saying that as well.
But it's about half and half. Packers, Cowboys.
Hey, so do you give the Eagles credit for finding ways to move the ball without receivers who are catching passes, like all the screens and the right around the line of scrimmage plays in the passing game? Or is it more credit to the Eagles, or is it more like shame on the Cowboys for not doing a better job of stifling them with like their, like Miles Sanders on screen passes, like right there? I mean, that was a huge play on 1st down. You
knew all they could do to beat you was going to be their tight ends and the running back. And that's basically how they've done it, with a little bit of Greg Ward sprinkled in, But so, it's kind of like more of the same from the Cowboys. Just had kind of a disappointing defense. And it's not like it's been a bad defensive game. It just hasn't been good enough. There's a play from Jeff Heath. So we have a 2nd and 20 coming up? Cowboys need to get the ball quick, though, and they need to score very quickly. 2-score game.
So, yeah, that is a nice play by Heath.
Tommy is weighing in, guys. So here's something from Tommy. He was famous from the movie Tommy Boy. Did you ever see Tommy Boy?
I've seen it several times.
He says good. The most frustrating part of the Jason Garrett era is the inconsistency week in to week out. Yeah, because you beat the Rams last week, like you killed the Rams last week, who went down to the wire with one of the best teams in the league in the 49ers last night. It is very frustrating. And that's why Jason needs to be fired and has needed to be fired 10 times. Now, what was that body on the sideline? Did you see that?
Is there a dead body?
I think there was.
I didn't see that. Hey, I want to say this. Was it Rod Marinelli?
No.
He's still alive? I think more often than not. My bad. Sorry to the Marinellis. I think more often than not. What's that?
They showed a shot of him. He's alive. He's doing fine.
Hey, I think more often than not, KT, and I don't disagree with the comment about the inconsistencies under Garrett. But when you're 7-7 or maybe 8-8 or whatever, you are normally inconsistent. Like it's not like you're just average all year and you kind of average your way to 8-8. It's you have games or stretches where you look great, and then you have games where you look terrible. I mean, most 8-8 teams give you the feeling that they can be an 11-win team throughout a year, and they also give you the feeling that they're going to be a 4-5 win team. They're going to go and kick the Rams tush in a big game, and then they're going to go and lose to the Jets earlier in the season. If you're the Eagles, you're going to go and play really well like they have so far, in a big game, but you're also going to go and lose to the Miami Dolphins. I think that in general, 8-8 type teams are incredibly inconsistent regardless of the coach. But I do, if you extend beyond this year, this is a relatively inconsistent team under Garrett over the last few years. And that's a big field goal miss right there by Jake Elliott.
Good news right there is Jake Elliott hooks it into the left rough. For all our golf fans out there. Okay, so right now the line has moved to 8.5. So it's 17-6. Cowboys could. Well, you're drinking a Fresca. Okay.
I like Fresca, don't you?
Is that an alcoholic beverage?
It is not. Not right now.
Fresca's not bad. Nothing wrong with Fresca.
Yeah.
I've got some lines too. It also says, do you think Garrett? This is from Shelby. I'm assuming this is my buddy Shelby out in Fort Worth. Nice guy. Great Shelby like. He says, do you think Garrett is fired this week if he loses this game? No, because they could have fired Garrett a month ago, and they chose to not do that. Didn't want to ruin his Christmas, I guess.
Yeah, I don't.
You know what? Hey, Garrett doesn't have kids, so he and his wife would have been fine with a good. They could have. He makes $6 million a year to be a bottom 10 head coach in the league. If you were the worst at your job and you got paid like the best, I think you'd be like, "Whoa,
I made it this
weird."
Long. Hey, you said something interesting because I think there are a lot of horrible coaches in the NFL. You really think he's bottom 10?
Yeah. This team was 9-5 or 10-4 without him alone.
Interesting. I wonder. I really haven't done an inventory.
And I can say things like that because you can't prove it that I would be wrong.
No, but that is interesting. I do think sometimes with the head coach, when it's your guy and that's all you really. I wouldn't say all you really know, but it's really what you focus on. Sometimes the bad gets magnified in a way that makes you think that the grass is way greener when it isn't. Listen, we've been saying this for now over 2.5, 3 years that it's time for them to make a change. Certainly this year we talked about that. I'm not suggesting otherwise, but I do wonder where he would rank. And I don't have any hesitation in saying if he does get fired and wants to coach next year, he will be coaching next year.
Can we agree on not top 10?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he's definitely not.
What he gets paid like?
Yes, absolutely. I think. Okay. I wonder if he's in the 16 to 24 range, which could be bottom 10 or just outside of that.
Now we have live action in the Jones suite where he's hanging out with Chris Christie, a noted Cowboys fan, and Jerry looks like he is about to choke somebody. 17-6. We have 11 minutes left, but the Cowboys have good field position, ball in their own 45. So there is time. It's not over. I know I've kind of been a jerk this whole time, but like there's a chance.
Did you hear Chris Christie with Dan Patrick saying that when you're in the Jones, you're not allowed to talk about anything other than
football?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. So, I mean, some people, I think rich people have crazy rules, or like I mean, he's not like the most famous person in the world, but you know Jack White, the guitarist. You know Jack White. He doesn't allow cell phones in his house.
Really?
He can't have a cell phone in his house. I heard that from Jack Black, who did a thing with Conan. Yeah. So, you know, I don't know. So here we go. 17. Another guy's hurt.
Xavier Su'a-Filo hurt again.
Why is he still in the game if he keeps getting hurt? Just go get better.
I think you make an argument as to why he's like. You can ask the question, why is he in the game even when he's healthy?
He's a nice guy, by the way. Though he owns like 4 horses.
He owns 4 horses.
Yeah. He
DFW athletes not being good when they own horses.
Don't take shots at Rugi right now. By the way, how about them Rangers? Should we talk about them? They're a little. No, we shouldn't. This is the biggest game of the year.
We need to talk about the Mavs blowing a 30-point lead.
Did that happen?
That happened. They lost to the Raptors.
Sorry, man. I haven't really been watching. Okay, what will we have? 10:30 left? We have 17-6. We have the ball. And by we, I mean Cowboys. And we're not throwing it down the field, though, because that's not something we do. This is exhausting. Brady has a question. Tight end draft class this year. Not very good, Brady. Not very good. I mean, there's a couple guys, but they got to get a defensive lineman. They're going to have to get a cornerback. I might start looking at offensive lineman. I do a lot of things before tight end. I think Jarwin can get you through it. 3rd and 6, definite 4-down territory now. If you care about winning.
Is it?
Not if you're going to take a sack.
Not if you're going to lose yards. Let's see here. Was anything open? So why? Okay. Hey, this happened, KT, early in the game, and they're going for it, which is great.
What?
So I'll hold off my comments until after this play. This is a big play, but
so we're going to go for it on 4th and 1. I mean, 4th and 10 from the 46, but not 4th and 1 from the 31. That's like saying, hey, man, I want to go bargain shopping, and you go to the cereal aisle and you buy the most expensive box of cereal. Like, what are you trying to do? Man, Randall Cobb caught it, though, and he's awesome. First down.
Right there.
And my face right there. There's a lot going on in that locker room, too, Jared, where they've got some guys who, especially on the defensive side of the ball, have kind of – let's say that there's a cancer in that room. And Randall Cobb has really helped stop that from getting out and being a big deal, man. Randall Cobb is awesome.
Yeah.
You should throw it to him more often. Oh, no, he dropped it. Everything I say, the opposite happens. So I guess tell me what you want, Cowboys fans. I really can't help you. It's very hard for me to be serious here, Jared, because, I mean, I'm telling you, 2 weeks ago, every Cowboys fan that reached out to me on Twitter – at KT Fun Tweets, follow. Every person that reached out to me told me it doesn't matter if they make the playoffs; they're just going to lose in the first round. So, well, if you guys don't care, then why should I care? You know, like that. Kind of butthurt by the way Cowboys fans have acted over the last month. Personally, not all Cowboys fans, just some.
So early in the game, KT, there were some 3rd downs, and Dak checked down. You know, like a 3rd and 12, he threw a 2-yard pass that yards after a catch made 6 to 8 yards. I want to know, did you see anything differently? It just seemed like there weren't really people open as opposed to – it wasn't like Dak was like, hey, like I'm not going to make this throw for the first down. I'm instead going to throw it 2 yards.
I think the Eagles played back kind of like what the Saints did earlier in the year where they just kind of played back and it's like, go get open. These seem like kind of forced the ball to Amari Cooper a ton today. He went for the bomb to Gallup. So I have 8:04 left. I have a 4th and 4, and I have the Cowboys probably needing to kick a field goal and make it a one-score game. Wouldn't it be amazing if kicking continued to cost them? Ugh. Yeah. And there's no one open.
You got like a 49-yard attempt here.
Kai Forbath, who, again, as we talked about last week,
he's going to
not
nail
his
it.
real last name. He has that last name because he takes 4 baths a day.
Yeah.
Very superstitious. Oh, he drilled it.
He drilled that. Wow.
Oh.
Where's this guy? Hey, by the
Why
way,
didn't they cut the old kicker a month ago too? I mean, all these things were fixable.
Hey, I know KT. I know punters don't score points the way that field goal kickers do, so there's not as much conversation. But why have we allowed the Cowboys to just roll out Chris Jones all year and not say anything about it? Like, their specialty is horrible across the board.
They signed him to a contract, but yes, he is, and I'm looking it up right now. He is, you know what? I'm looking at average, punt average. Hold on.
He's last in the NFL, I think.
Is that true?
I think he's like bottom 3 in all relevant punting categories.
Okay, hold on. I had to extend it out to 50 here because it stopped at 25. Yes, you're correct, sir. Yeah, he is one of the worst.
He's horrible.
But they paid him. They signed him and paid him. So, Now, Maher, they could have cut for nothing. Like, they didn't have to do that. Question, and this is good. This is good housekeeping here. Thurmond, sweet name. He says if the Cowboys lose, are they eliminated? No. If they lose, they would have to beat the Redskins next week and hope that the Eagles lose to the Giants, which the Eagles went to overtime with the Giants 2 weeks ago. So, not completely over, but yeah, it's mostly over. So, the key here, and I'm trying not to be smart when I say this, the key here would be winning today. And they've chosen not to want to do that. So, it's – I don't know about you, Jared, in your everyday life. The Cowboys fans that I deal with in everyday life, not on this family vacation. We have some really upbeat Cowboy fans here. But in my everyday life, we're just kind of, make the playoffs, we'll lose. Hey, you know what? It's cool to make the playoffs. Sounds like everyone's kind of being a little bit entitled.
I get so. I guess it's the. So a few things. One, I get that this team had a backdrop of greater expectations than just getting in the playoffs. Like, if you're the Buffalo Bills, getting in the playoffs is amazing. And if you go one and done, you go one and done, whatever. Successful season. I get that there's a difference because of expectations and whatnot. And you're not in the Patriots division. You were in what has played out to be a pretty garbage division and all this. But at the end of the day, I think the great Adam Morris on Twitter likes to let everyone know that if you live in a world where it's either your team wins a championship or everything else is a failure, then you're setting yourself up to be miserable on an annual basis. And I get that this is an NFC that seems relatively wide open, and the Cowboys could have taken advantage, and doesn't appear as if they're going to. Hell, they might not make the playoffs, but I would much rather my team make the playoffs and get 4 or 5 draft pick spots worse because of it than end up with the 14th or the 16th pick and miss the playoffs, right? Like, to me, I take that 10 out of 10.
When people talk about those things, they talk about it as if they already know the outcome, and the truth is you don't know the outcome.
No.
Just like you don't know the outcome of what the draft pick will be. That's why all that stuff is kind of like not frustrating. It's annoying, I guess. It's annoying. Hey,
so
and I don't understand why they like that, because it's not like this team makes the playoffs every year. They make the playoffs every other year, and every year that they don't make the playoffs, it sucks.
Hey, Cowboys fans like Cowboys fans are like UT football fans. They had a really good stretch. Like UT in the Mac Brown era was awesome, but if you look at the last 40 years of UT football, other than like a 7-8 year stretch, it's really pedestrian. If you take away that 90s run for the Cowboys and you look back at the last 30, 40 years, what are they? They're They're kind of pedestrian.
That's what I've been saying about the Archer City Wildcats football team for the last 20 years or so.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, those guys. Third down here. This is a big play, Jared. And I apologize if the people are ahead of me. I'm watching on YouTube TV today. It's kind of cool.
I want to thank all our friends over at YouTube.
I don't have that yet, but at this cabin, I'm in a cabin.
What
with third
constitutes a cabin?
I've got 6:40 left, and this is all brought to you by MyBookie.ag. I haven't given them a plug in a while. The promo code is FanCred, where they will double your deposit. 3rd and 6, 6:30 left. Huge play coming up for the Eagles. Ugh. So the tight end, his name is Dallas. If that hurts, if that stings a little more, the tight end named Dallas makes a catch on Dallas for a first down.
My favorite part of that play is then linebackers coach Ben Bloom just kind of walking over to Dallas Goedert and just standing over him.
Kind of getting in his face a little bit.
I don't know that he was just almost like observing him, like, hey, this is
pretty good player.
Yeah, this is what it's like.
I wish we had him.
Yep.
In other news, Jared, 11 minutes left in Seattle. The Cardinals lead the Seahawks 20-10. I don't know if you care about that game, but I do.
I certainly do. I think we might have similar reasons for caring.
So the Eagles are going to be able to take the clock down to about 4 minutes if it's, let's say if there's 3 plays here. Because we got 1st and 10 happening with about 6 minutes or left in the game. Eagles 17, Cowboys 9. The line over at MyBookie right now 7.5 for the Cowboys, which makes sense. Good tackle by Michael Bennett, though. So 2nd and 13. Okay. Got a chance here. You know, the Eagles have had 2 missed field goals from the kicker that they signed, Jake Elliott. And that's been kind of helpful as well because this would not be a 1-score game if he made one of those. So that's pretty cool.
Well, shoot, his last miss, you could say, helped the Cowboys get 3 points because they had decent field position because of it.
Okay.
Oh, my gosh. Is that the –
Wait, you said – I think you're ahead of me when you –
I'm a tiny bit ahead of you there. So a guy who has been so good for the Cowboys this game almost just came up with a game-changing type play.
Are you talking about Robert Quinn, Medicine Woman?
Oh, my gosh. I mean, how good has this guy been, not only in the pass game, but, making some big tackles early behind the line of scrimmage in the run game. It's been really, really good. And that's a huge play because now it sets up a 3rd and 18. I don't know if the Eagles are going to be as aggressive, but what you got to do is you got to get them out of field goal range because the field goal pretty much ends the game. So it's not really a 3rd and 18 for the Cowboys as much as like a 3rd and 10 or so.
Cowboys are going to get the ball back, Jared. I've got a good feeling here. 4:45 left in the game. 17-9.
Boy,
oh
that's
my
a
God,
big
Carson
mistake.
Let's do it into the ants.
That's
ant pile on the ground, and he threw his football at the ant pile.
That's a really big
decision.
It looked like that was set up pretty well, too. It looked like it was set up well. Let's see. They're going to get a replay, I'm sure. It looked like it was set up well enough for them to at least get into field goal range. Oh, boy, it was.
So the Cowboys are going to get the ball back now. Doug Peterson, by the way, head coach in the NFL, voted most likely to vomit in the back of a taxi cab. Take that
while playing. Do you think he would vomit while playing? What's that cab game called on TV?
Cash Cab.
Cash Cab, yeah.
I don't think they play that anymore, do they?
They don't do that anymore.
I got a fair catch from Cobb at the 12. Is that about where you are?
That's where I am.
Nice.
All right,
prediction. Live to Seattle. Well, hold on. Live to Seattle, a 51-yard field goal is made. 1-score game in Seattle. So
who made the field goal? Seattle.
Seattle did. So it's
Myers?
Arizona 20, Seattle 13, and I think Brett Hundley is the quarterback. So the Cowboys have the ball on the 12-yard line, and Joe and Troy are each wearing a nice suit.
We know what the Jason Myers experience or the Brett Hundley experience is like. Hey, do they get the touchdown this drive, Tiz, or no? What do you think?
I think you have to.
No. I know you. I'm saying, do you think they get a touchdown?
I mean, they haven't had one all day, so I don't know why I would all of a sudden think they would get one. But
I'm going touchdown.
For the sake of drama, yes.
I think they get the touchdown and miss the 2-point conversion.
I absolutely think that. Yes, 17-15.
Oh my Lord.
Don't say things when you're ahead of me.
No, I'm just saying. Just saying.
4 minutes left. Oh, he's got him. Oh, Dak. That's 2, Dak. He's making it hard on me. He's making it hard for me to defend him. Yeah, was that Tavon? Oh my God.
Yeah, that's Tavon. That's a touchdown too.
So, I heard that earlier in the year. Do you remember the Minnesota game where Tavon called for the fair catch or whatever?
Yeah.
And Garrett kind of hung him out to dry. I heard that is when the locker room was like, "What?" Because they all love Tavon Austin so much. He's kind of funny. All right, 2nd and 10, 3:59 left.
Got to make
There's
a big
still time to dream. Cobb to the 46. And Dak totally redeems himself. Completely. Sort of. Brady makes a good point. This is Brady Sapp, I believe. He says, I think we have a great playoff run this year as long as the other team doesn't have a tight end. I mean, you're asking a lot of the other team to not have a tight end, but sure. Oh, what are we doing? So we've got a drop by
You missed my
Michael
face. Because I knew you hadn't seen. I'm sitting here like this. You weren't even looking like. I mean, that was a beautiful throw, right?
Okay, so the drops outweigh the bad throws today, 3-2. That has to be
total
caught.
drops.
That has to be caught. Oh my goodness! 2nd and 10. God, great throw to Cobb. Cobb's starting to tear it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about all this is we're getting 0 Zeke. Like they've completely gone away from running it, despite it being a 1-score game. Like honestly, there's a lot of ways you could play this if you're the Cowboys, but you can still run the ball if you need to. Ugh. Cobb is a really good $5 million player, as Jason is a really bad $6 million head coach. Speaking of millions, go win millions at MyBookie.ag. The promo code's FanCred, where you can double your deposit.
Man, I love my deposit.
Austin in the game. Okay. So I have 2:45 left, Jared.
Yep, I'm like a couple seconds ahead.
2nd and 5, 17-9. Getting tense here for half the room where I'm at.
This is
half the room of Cowboy fans.
Did you convert Kara? Was that Kara's name? Is Kara
Karis? I don't know. She could give it a couple years and kind of check out the landscape of the league.
No, that's smart. No reason to rush into a decision.
She might not be a big NFL fan. She doesn't like the Cowboys. Oh, she doesn't like the Cowboys. That girl. And that is probably not making her father very happy.
Hey, so
2-minute warning's coming up. Oh, they snapped it before the 2-minute warning.
Well, Tiz, what are you seeing here? Because the Cowboys are moving the ball down the field with relative ease, just as if they'd put up 30 points so far. And this happens. It seems like a lot. You get to the second half of the fourth quarter. Teams get into that don't beat me with the big play feel, and they let you kind of dink and dunk. But the Cowboys haven't necessarily dinked and dunked. I mean, they've had some good intermediate plays. The Gallup drop, the Austin overthrow, those would have been big time plays. But is this not maddening as a fan? Like, where was this the first 3.5 quarters?
So on the Tavon Austin play, the Dak misthrow, that was man coverage. On the Gallup drop, they had the safety coming over. Cobb was winning in man coverage. I mean, some of these guys are going to have to win one-on-one matchups. It did feel like all day long. Dak was kind of forcing it to Cooper, though. So maybe these guys have been open all day, and Dak hasn't seen them. That's possible. I don't know, man. This is pretty good, though. I'm glad that we have a close game, because when it was 17-6 when we started, I was going, geez, really? But we got a little chance here. And now here's what's going to happen. They're either going to win, and the Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl, or they're going to lose, and this team continues to disappoint me, and I'm mad about it. And I just think we need to find a happy medium. You're probably going to go to the playoffs if you win and get beat, but you got a chance to win a game or two. Just meet in the middle. You understand what I'm saying? Are you ahead of me? Is the game already started?
No. I'm following along. I was letting you roll. Did you watch SNL last night?
No, don't spoil it, please.
I haven't watched it either.
Okay.
I figure you're pretty pumped about it, though.
No, it was allegedly pretty good.
Hey, I just wanted to wish all my brothers and sisters out there a happy Hanukkah, including you, KT.
Yeah. All of you who are celebrating Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah to you. From Jared. I'm not authorized to say that because I'm not Jewish.
Yeah, but we accept you. You do a great Adam Sandler voice.
Yes.
Weren't you supposed to do this whole quarter? And hey, if the Cowboys come back and win, then next week you've got to do the whole fourth quarter in Adam Sandler voice.
Deal. And you have to do the whole quarter. If they don't, you have to do the whole quarter in Tracy Morgan voice. And I'm not sure you can get away with that.
Oh, you're trying to get me fired.
That could get you fired.
All right, we're getting back with the action.
Okay, here we go. 154 left, 2nd and 4, ball in the 19. Cowboys down 8. They've ran the ball 16 times and thrown it 43 times. Oh, my gosh. Boy, Kellen's done a pretty good job of trying to get Jason fired. There's a sack. There's a celebration from Vinny Curry, and it's 3rd down. The other fat brother of Steph and Seth. 1:30 left, 3rd and 8. Cowboys have all 3 timeouts left, so it's technically not over. Oh, and he underthrew it. He was trying to force it to Amari Cooper again. It's 4th and 8. They're going to have to go for it. And if they don't get it, they're going to have to use all their timeouts and get the ball back.
Why is Amari Cooper walking off the field? On 4th and 8, your best receiver's not on the field.
Especially when we just came back from a 2-minute warning commercial break.
What is going on there?
And why is this allowed?
The biggest play of the season.
Oh, yeah. No. I have more to say about that, but I want to watch this play first. Oh. Okay. So now we need 3 stops, 3 timeouts, get the ball back. Yeah, I don't think that should be just okay. And there's probably not a better image than Amari Cooper standing behind the head coach who's about to be fired as that's happening. Like at some point, act like you care. If I'm Jason, I'm saying, no, it's 4th and 8. Get back out there. I don't know. And yes, Amari Cooper should be out there, but like, where's the direction? Someone say, hey, no, you are going to do that. It's just frustrating. And everyone's sick of it. And the man loses his job.
Jeez.
Yeah, no. And okay, Uncle Craig here with a pretty good comment. He said, honestly, I got to give Garrett credit for not kicking the field goal there because I think the whole world thought he was going to kick a field goal there and try to. Okay, so the booth review, are they reviewing pass interference? What are you reviewing?
Yeah,
I guess they are reviewing pass interference. That's not pass interference. They will never call that. So now you have to get 3 stops. Ugh. Yeah, just didn't play good enough today. And, 7 other games this year. And another disappointing year.
Right side going to have pressure right away.
What was that?
Just trying to look at a great Brett Hundley highlight.
Yeah, no, so the Cardinals are driving in that game, actually, with Brett Hundley, the former Packers backup quarterback.
Brett Hundley's done more things well in that game than he did in his entire career with the Packers.
Not far from wrong.
Brett Hundley was one of the most awkward-looking quarterbacks within, like, the helmet. Like, the helmet just didn't look right on him.
They're not calling up pass interference here, right? Are they?
I doubt it.
So on the I guess it's not the biggest play, but in the third quarter, there was a 3rd and 1 where Zeke checks out on 3rd and 1, and then they tossed it to Pollard, or they pitched it to Pollard. He fumbled. And then on 4th and 8, Amari Cooper just says, I don't want to play anymore.
And then Randall Cobb wasn't on the field either, right?
So we just put our backups in for the biggest play of the year. And that is not a good way to keep your job if you're a head coach. Okay, got to get 3 stops. 1:15 left. Eagles are going to run it 1 time, timeout. All right. Got to do it 2 more times. There's 1:10 left. 1:10. And this could be the final. Well, they'll play. I forget. The Cowboys do have to play. It feels like there's not going to be a game next week, but there will be a game next week where they have to play the Redskins. And you need to beat them and then hope that the Giants beat the Eagles. That's going to be the play because you're in if that happens.
Yeah.
They'll probably keep the Cowboy game at noon if it's Cowboys-Redskins, and they'll put Giants and Eagles at 3:25 would be my guess. The Sunday night game next week will be 49ers-Seahawks off the top of my head. So I don't know what they would do. Or maybe they put the Cowboys – actually, they would put Cowboys and Eagles playing at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they're going to flex 5 games,
That might have been the game if you got the first down. Yep.
2nd and 8, 1:10 left. Oh, play action. Uh-oh. All right. The Cowboys do not win the division today. They likely are not going to the playoffs. There it is.
Wow.
I don't know what to say, man. Everyone kind of sucked today,
Yeah, it's very fitting that in the decisive game in this division, a trash division, it's a very poorly played game that wins the – I shouldn't say the Eagles were horrible. They certainly weren't, but it's not like one team came out here and looked really, really good. Kind of fitting.
Yeah, I mean, neither one of these teams are very good, to be honest. So, whatever. But this is what they try to strip it, and they don't. Timeout, 58 seconds. This is what it's just like you started out 3-0, and then you never beat a good team until last week. So you beat a bunch of bad teams. You lost to the Jets, and that game is going to come back to haunt you too. But even the Saints loss, and then that Packers loss, and that Vikings loss, I just think about, man, if you would have been able to win one of those games, and they got down in every one of those games, it feels like it's not good enough, And it didn't always feel – I'm not going to be the guy that says they quit. I think that's a thing that people are looking for attention, say, oh, they quit on the team. I don't think they quit on the team. I just don't think they always try as hard as they should. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think it's what we talked about, the focus in between games, the focus from Monday through Saturday. Is it there? That's where it's a lot easier for these guys to not give 110%. It's very tough, for me to believe that, especially in a physical sport like this where you can get your ass kicked if you're not giving your tush kicked, that, you go out there and you don't, you're not quote unquote trying hard. It's the days in between. It's when you're in the meeting, studying the playbook, going over, the scout for that week, whatever it might be. That's where I think sometimes you lose players.
Well, also, so before the year started, Jason Garrett knew that he didn't have a contract, and they let him go in without a contract. This is on Jerry. Jerry should have fired him after last season. She said, that's not good enough. So we're looking for. We got to make a change. And he didn't do it. And now the message to everyone involved is, hey, the head coach is going to get fired if we don't do good enough. So guess what happens when head coaches get fired? Coaches start getting selfish. Players start getting selfish, as what specifically happened in that locker room with some people, not everyone, with some people, especially on the defensive side of the ball. If you want to point out a couple of guys who got paid, I can tell you one guy who got paid who acted that way. And the Eagles are going to kind of rub it in their face a little bit.
Malin Smith?
What?
Does his name rhyme with Schmalin Smith?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about that?
Still campaigning for the Pro Bowl.
No problem saying that.
Yeah.
I have no problem saying that. There's and it's very evident when they're down by 3 scores a couple weeks ago, and he's doing his celebration dance. Like, dude, you're supposed to be the leader. He ain't the leader. Hey, the Cardinals have a player named Banjo. I think remember Banjo?
I remember Sal
he's
Bando.
a safety. The other safety they have back there is accordion, so that's interesting.
Chris Banjo, right? I think Chris
Peterson
Banjo
and
went to
Garrett Hug. Peterson, his breath always smelling like wild turkey.
I think Chris
Garrett
Banjo, by
always-
the way, went to SMU
Garrett.
for whatever it's worth. Man, but Jalen Smith's got to make sure to get all his FaceTime in with everyone.
This is
Gotta
also what
market.
happens too. This is also what happens too when your head coach doesn't want to be the head coach of this team anymore. He quit a long time ago too.
Yeah.
So remember that.
You think you believe that?
I absolutely believe that. When it was his people leaking out, the Giants might be interested in Garrett. I mean, 10 years, 10 years is too long for a coach.
I might be totally wrong here, or totally like missing something. But was it definitely his people?
I think it was.
Okay.
I mean, I can't, I mean, the sky is 100% blue most of the time, but I can't help you on the but wink,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All right, so we're going to do this next week. Right, Redskins? We don't know what time yet. Noon or 3?
It's noon. I think it's noon. It's a noon.
Closing
noon.
thoughts, Jared, of the Cowboys not playing good enough.
I think similar to last week, where it's like the way you explain kicking the Rams' tail and dominating is like, well, Cowboy's going to cowboy. And I think similarly today, putting up just a total egg of a performance offensively in a big game, Cowboy's going to cowboy. And it would not surprise me one bit if the Giants went and beat the Eagles and the Cowboys end up in the playoffs, because when you're dealing with average at best teams, stuff like this happens. Whether it's the Eagles or the Cowboys, over the larger sample, that's what they are. They're just average teams. And average teams tend to not be average on a weekly basis, on a week-to-week basis. They tend to be really good or really bad, and then they ultimately, at the end of the year, come together, and it's an average record. But I don't know. I just want to ask you, because 9 points is what's going to get analyzed here. I thought the defense was fine. What biggest issue with the offense? The drops? Anything else stand out?
The turnover.
I mean, Dak missed a couple throws.
The turnover, the drops, and Dak missing throws. So altogether, all of it.
And let me ask you this. I mean, so let's say Amari was just gassed. Cobb was gassed. I mean, you call that timeout, right?
He just got back from commercial break.
Yeah.
I'm gassed. I'm in New Mexico and the air is thin.
I get that. But if it's a coaching decision, inexcusable. If not, you call the timeout. I know that you'd love to have that third timeout, because if you don't get the fourth down, then you can get more time on the clock. But, I mean, 4th and 8, biggest play, the likelihood of you getting the ball back is not great to begin with. I want Amari and Cobb on the field no matter what.
They were down 10-0 to start the game. It was quite evident they were not ready to play the game today. It ain't the first time we've seen that this year. So, you know what? Guess what? You get to sit at home. Unless the Eagles lose to the Giants next week and you beat the Redskins, and then you do get to have the playoffs, and we'll continue this charade of the Cowboys being kind of in the middle and never being good enough. It's a dog and pony show at this point. Ruff, ruff, nay. Is that what
Nay.
That's the Cowboy fan. The Cowboys fan makes the sound of a pony after this game.
Hey,
But
KT,
you know what?
go. Oh,
I got to go.
go
But-
have fun on the mountains.
Well, there is a large portion of Cowboys fans who deserve what they got today. And you deserve to not go to the playoffs. And you deserve to never go to the playoffs, because you never root for your team to lose. That's bad karma. You never do that. Make sure you go to mybookie.ag, get some action on Packers-Vikings tomorrow night, Bears-Chiefs tonight. The promo code's FanCred, where you can double your deposit just like that. Ellie, that's your sign-off.
I'm out.
All right. Happy holidays to Corey Kluber.
And Corey Majors.
See you, Jared.
See ya. Cheers.